So, what we want to understand from our customers is which channel is most influencing. We want that to be an exactly the same experience all over, to pick up where you left off. But we want to understand and be able to credit the channel so that we can invest more and we can use that for later support of which project to choose or which improvement, enhancement, or even new product to choose, as to where do we actually give the credit of the sale to our customer, from our customers to each of the different channels. So let's go through this a little bit. So when we attribute that sale to a place where the customer has been, a touch point, we are giving the credit to that channel. We want to understand, do we fully credit it, etc. And we're going to talk about different types of attribution. But when did that person make that decision, or what most influenced that decision to make that purchase? So when we consider the impact of what the marketing spend is going to be, we want to understand what's been most successful. What's the ROI for each of them? We're not going back to ROI, but this time what we're doing is attributing to the specific channel in order to drive future investments. So when we think about attribution, this is Tableau's attribution timeline and how they're actually attributing credit for their sales. So this was from the Tableau conference a bit ago, not too long ago. But how do they understand that, and how are they using attribution? How can you use it in Tableau? So when we think of this, there's different ways to do this, and there's actually a lot of logarithms as algorithms. And what is it that we're going to choose? I want you to understand what it is and calculate very simplistic ones: first touch, last touch, and linear. But when we think about these, let's go through, and I'm going to go through and explain them really quickly, and we'll also do the exercises. So first touch. In this, no matter who it is, no matter when it was, it's the first person who talked to that customer about that product. That's where the attribution goes. So 100% goes to the first touch of the attribute, first touch of that customer. That's where the 100% attribution goes. So how to calculate that is going to be within our assignment, but basically we're going to calculate first touch attribution, and we'll use a digital extract uh, from Google Analytics to do the file attribution in terms of first touch. We'll go through that. Last touch, similarly, we're going to use the last touch listed in that Google Analytics extract. But it could be coming from anywhere. It could be coming from a CRM system. It could be coming from a customer relationship management system, or it could be coming from Google Analytics. If that was the last place, they should all integrate together. The last touch, only that last person gets the whole sale credited to them, or that last place. Could be online, could be phone channel, could be in person. Then we look at where were all the different touch points across the overall journey to purchase of this product. So linear attribution, you equally distribute the touches, if you will, in order to give the sales credit to that all channels that touched that product prior to sale. There's a lot more. We're not going to go into the time decay, but when you think about it, when was the first, when was the last, the most recent time that that touch was made is, in this particular model, the one that's given the credit of the sale. And this is a particular model, and then you can go position based. Was it the first and the last, and then attributing a little bit in the middle to different channels? But essentially, they're doing the 40/40, 80% for first and last, and then in the middle is 6.7% equally distributed, assuming there were 5 touch points. There could be 10 touch points. For example, they could have gone to 2 different store outlets. So they would have to divide those as well, or consider those as well. Divide the two in-person channels by that 40% if they were the first, and then they were the last if they went to 2 different places. So that's not, we're not going to touch on calculation, but that's yet another. And finally, you can take those algorithms and determine based on time spent, based on how much the customer interacted, and we talked about that in our digital metrics, but all of the different places they divide and they weight the calculation using the different pieces, the 5 different touch points. There's not always going to be 5. This is extremely complicated, but they're going to have this calculation all ready for you. Essentially, multi-channel has created this beast, but it's great to be able to have multi-channel and omnipresence on the multi-channel, but determining where those dollars should be credited to, the sales dollars should be credited to, has become a very difficult to solve problem if you get down to the granularity of time spent, weighted averages, etc. So that's what attribution is. And what you want to be able to take away is what was most influential and how do you determine where to spend that next dollar. So that's why we're talking about this.